Warriors Unite! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 in the 1% Club. Apologies last night, could not get one done, but we're doing one this afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are on your purpose. Hope you guys are continuing to follow God's plan, conquesting yourselves first, and conquesting things around you. So, a lot of great shout outs, great topics coming. I'm going to try to do more than 2 a week if I can. But right now, things are kind of hectic with a lot of stuff going on in Vigor Warriors 2's lives. So we're going to try to kind of get as much done as we can. All right, so some shout-outs. Channel 3, had 3 of them. Thank you, my friend. HB Art Cover Music, thank you. Barbarossa Rose, thank you. Mr. Perfect, everyone wants you. I think we'll do one. I think we did one on that one, by the way. Very good. Demetrius Philandros, Monk Mode, good job. Keep it up, my friend. DH, Monk Mode, I think 243 days. Just keep doing it, my friend. And this has been a while ago, so it's probably a lot more than that. So congratulations, my friend. Keep it up. Tegs, thank you. Moy Hernandez, thank you. SR9200, good topic. Just talk to the women during the day. I love that. That's a great topic. We'll do one on that one. Lighting the dark, thank you. Retention is hard. I agree with you, my friend. Keep it up, bud. We got to pray for our warrior here. Geodo Genius, God's Gladiator. A lot of evil spirits out there. You're right about that, God Gladiator. We got to watch out for the evil one, not get tempted, and keep the battle going. This is why I always call battle on every time we end this broadcast. Alex Forbes, thank you, my friend. John the Dawn and Savedo, thank you, my friend. All right, so our topic for this one comes from Armand and also Conscious Healing. Thank you guys for your comments. We're going to talk about semen retention and exes and how that affects that. I know I got a little bit of a glare here, but hopefully you guys can kind of hear me okay. So let's talk about this a little bit. Maybe I can move over a little bit. As we talk about this, the key is, and maybe I'll put it even down, even better, even maybe you can see it. The key is, my friends, is focusing on yourself. This is the key to everything. When you're looking at relationships in general, the hardest thing to do is to think about other people, another person, and then focus on yourself. What you got to really do is keep in mind that women in many cases need attention. Now, I've been getting a lot of feedback lately on some of these videos that I'm doing with it, that, this is nonsense and hilarious, things like that. And I can expect that. But the idea, and somebody even said that there's no science involved with it. Well, I've done a lot of research over the years, my friends, and there's some things that science cannot explain. God is one of those things, but doesn't mean that God's not here, right? Doesn't mean that the spirits are not with us. There's a lot of interesting things when it comes to the non-physical world, and there is a non-physical world, in my opinion. So again, I'm giving my opinion, but it's something that we get a lot of feedback with. Anyway, back to the feedback. A lot of things going on with all this, and the whole key is that when it comes to relationships, realize that this knowledge you have is very rare. It's hard to get this kind of knowledge because it's something that we experience by doing retention, by controlling ourselves, learning how to gain from within. Stoicism is all about that. Brahmacharya is all about that. Sophism. All these things have this sort of commonality between them, that they're always learning self-control. So you're learning how to control yourself. So now that's your biggest battle. After that, all the other things kind of fall in place. So how does that affect then going into ex-girlfriends, ex-wives, things like that? Well, what happens is that as you are growing and somebody wants to reject you, this idea of self-control, of Stoicism, serves you really well. And what you have to do is completely move away. Whether it's no contact rule you're going to use, I've heard people say that before, or you're going to basically say, I'm not going to respond back, or I'm not going to use my energy. Remember, guys, and we'll talk a little bit about this. I had a good topic from Andre Miller way back when, talking about lots of ways to lose energy. This is one of the best ways. We're not even talking about physical energy here. We're talking about spiritual. We're talking about this emotional energy. Do not get you sucked in to situations where you have to continuing talking to your ex, those things, especially if you do not want the ex to come back. Now, remember, guys, if the ex is hot and cold and the ex didn't want you anymore, even if they realize now the mistake they made, it's going to be a hard relationship to come back from, because you know that situation. It's always in the back of your mind that this person didn't want you, or maybe you left as well, and you're going to have the ex coming back wanting to be in a relationship. The key to a lot of this, again, is your own self-control. If you're able to control yourself, if you're able to go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to build my goals, I'm going to go develop myself, my spiritual, my physical, my intellectual part of my being, then you're going to develop things that are going to attract a lot of people. I mean, I get it now. I'm 63, Warriors, and I get it all day long. It's just amazing, man. For those people who don't think it's real, I would encourage you guys to try it. Now, I think some of the people who are saying this are people probably not on retention. They're just kind of viewing a channel, and that's great. I appreciate all the comments that come in. But I would really recommend you trying some of this to kind of see the effect. It used to be this was commonplace. Back when I was a kid, this was commonplace. Most people they had no idea about watching images and releasing all the time. It didn't become more popular until you had a lot of television broadcasting all these type of movies and things like that. Now it's something commonplace where people do that all the time, and they're doing it 4 or 5 times a day, releasing energy. And now we got to go back to the old days, and sometimes the old days are better. In this case, it is focusing on something that is more pure, and you're only doing it at certain times. In my case, I recommend doing it only in procreation, but that goes against all the common so-called modern rules. Now, you go back to the Roman Empire, and they had modern rules too at some point, lascivious behaviors that destroyed them. And this is why people didn't do that. They always go back to these basic rules, and whether you have a lot of spiritual belief in one religion or another, the rules are still pretty solid, right? You're not going to go ahead and sleep with any person you run into, right? You're not going to go ahead and sleep with people's wives and husbands and things like that. You're just not going to do that. That's not something that fits into those value system. But in the case of relationships, just remember that and we'll take a couple examples. If you were not, if you did not have self-control, you did not retain while you're in a relationship, and the person left you, well, once you start retaining, they're going to see a huge difference. In a lot of cases, they're going to miss and regret leaving you. Now, again, the question becomes, do you want this person back? That's going to be the question. So anytime we're talking about exes, ex-whatevers, you're talking basically about your decision. Because many women don't fully leave. I've had girlfriends that I had when I was 40 years ago are still friends of mine. And so they're not going to really leave. They're going to maybe be in the woods, distance or somewhere, maybe friendship or whatever. But the key is going to be, what do you want? What do you want in a relationship, Warrior? That's the key. The key is going to be, because your battle is going to continually be a strong one against the evil forces who basically want to tempt you to release. And the idea is that you just should not be releasing, especially to random people or random things where all of a sudden you're losing your energy. That's going to affect your health. That's going to affect all the benefits that you could achieve and goals and things for yourself to keep doing well and continue to progress onward to being that high value male you should be. And so because of that, what you're going to do is continue to kind of watch yourself so that you're not going to be tempted. The idea with the ex is that there was good things you had in a relationship and there was bad things you had in a relationship. The key is going to be focusing on, do I want this type of relationship back? And if I know it's coming back, that person's not going to change all that much. They may try to, and maybe you can help them change, and maybe through, help from other people, they could change as well. But the key is going to be, they're going to notice a difference, especially if you went from not having retention to all of a sudden retaining and learning control and learning all those benefits and getting those benefits and becoming a high value male. All of a sudden, you're a different breed. And now you're a different breed of person, and this ex wants to come back. They know what they missed, and now they want your attention. The difference is that now you're the one in control of the situation. You might not have been in control before, and now you're in control. So we talk about exes, and I think this is what both Conscious Healing and Armand was talking about, is that you have to kind of decide what is better for you in the long run. Is this relationship better for me in the long run, for me to go back to? Now, I'll say this much, Vigor Warrior, when he was not retaining, way back when, had some difficulties early in his marriage, and I stayed with it mainly because that was my background growing up, that you never get divorced. Now that people have changed their viewpoint, a lot of times when you get 50% divorce now. So that was just an idea that I had. But on the other hand, now, as the years have gone on, I've been married over 30 some years, or around 30 years. The idea is that you really basically want to say to yourself, okay, is this person going to help me? If it's a marriage situation and you're separated, I would highly recommend keeping that marriage. That's just my opinion. Once again, I'm very old-fashioned in my viewpoints as a Vigor Warrior. But my viewpoint is that, especially if you have kids, it just hurts the kids a lot. And if something you can kind of manage, especially once you have retention, then I'd say, that's a good idea to try to repair that. Exes, when it comes to ex-girlfriends and some of the ladies out there, if they're listening, ex-boyfriends, it really is more of a case of, is there more benefits in this relationship than negatives? And that's going to be the key as you look at this to try to decide. But when you start retaining and you start using all those benefits and starting to build yourself up and learning self-control, and all starts with some self-control. Retention is the best type because it's the hardest thing to do. If you're able to control that energy you have, you're going to control other types of behaviors, addictions and things you have. But it's got to start with something difficult, and that may be more difficult than drugs and things like that, because to control that nature for males, especially when you're in your 20s and 30s, that is difficult. I know I experienced it many, many times. So when you're in that state, and once you change that state to all of a sudden in control, now you have everybody wanting you. And this is what I think we got to call people talking about. And so you got to make it the choice of saying, do I want to spend back time with my ex because I'm more comfortable with that, or do I want to try new things? If you break off contact, that's it. You should just not go back to it, because those behaviors that annoyed you before probably will come back again. And that's the thing that you've got to be careful of, that this person gets the message that this is not the case. Now, I've seen it work both ways. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's going to be your choice. All right, my friends. Anyway, it was a good topic. We talked about semen retention and exes. Once again, using semen retention is always a great thing, but don't be surprised if your ex-wife, ex-girlfriend comes back to you because they see a different person, a new improved person from the time that they had a relationship with you in the first place. All right, my friends, always two things I'll leave you with. First, every day is a great day to a new warrior, and a great day to a great warrior, by the way. And secondly, always remember that we have to continue to battle